In a world where despair consumes, is it possible for a small pilgrim to bring light amidst the darkness? The Holy Child of Atocha emerges in history as a living miracle, a symbol of faith and aid for the most needy. Dressed as a pilgrim, with his humble basket and tireless mission, this miraculous child defies all human and physical barriers to bring relief to those who suffer. His image, innocent yet powerful, has left an indelible mark on the hearts of millions, becoming a constant presence for those seeking miracles in times of great distress. The story of the Holy Child of Atocha is not merely a tale of faith, but a tangible proof of divine intervention in times of crisis. He is known to appear in moments of extreme need, like a mysterious traveler crossing borders to feed and console the needy. Thus, his figure becomes a divine paradox. A small child, humble, yet endowed with a power that defies reason. The Holy Child represents the strength of God manifested in such a simple form that it invites everyone to believe in the extraordinary. Each story of his intervention leaves those who hear it with a mixture of awe and comfort. What power does a child have to cross barriers, feed the hungry, and heal the sick? Yet, time and again, the stories testify to his miracles. Such is the strength of this little one that he not only provides physical help, but also spiritual peace to the desperate. His figure becomes a kind of mobile comfort, a being always on the move, always seeking those to relieve. The first appearances of the Holy Child were characterized by his ability to elude human surveillance. With his wide-brimmed hat and traveler's staff, he managed to enter places where others were stopped. Like a cool breeze in a dark dungeon, his presence brought hope and food to those who needed it most. His small hands carried more than bread and water. They carried the promise that God does not abandon his children, even in the most difficult circumstances. The mystery of the Holy Child lies not only in his miracles, but in his ongoing mission to bring hope. Despite the passage of centuries, this child has continued to find his way into places of suffering and need. Today, his image remains a reminder that faith can truly move mountains and that God can manifest in the most humble forms. Origins of the devotion in Atocha, Spain. The devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha originates in ancient Spain, in the town of Atocha, during the Arab domination in the 11th century. In a dark and tense period when Christians suffered in prisons with no hope of escape, an unusual and powerful belief began to emerge. The Virgin of Atocha, venerated as the protector of captives, was the first refuge for those seeking a miracle. But what happened next exceeded all expectations and laid the foundation for a devotion that would cross borders. It is said that in a moment of total despair, when the families of prisoners no longer knew whom to turn to, a mysterious child began to appear in the cells. With his basket and cloak, he seemed to know no boundaries of the jailers, and his presence was a direct response to the faithful's pleas. This child, whom many began to identify as a manifestation of Jesus himself in infant form, nourished and consoled the prisoners. This is how the cult to the Holy Child of Atocha was born, becoming a symbol of divine mercy for the captives. The prisoners described the child as a young pilgrim, with worn clothes but a serene expression. Each visit was a miraculous event, as he always arrived with just the right amount of food and water for the captives. As rumors spread, the devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha grew, and his figure began to symbolize hope in the impossible. The child, whose basket always seemed to miraculously refill, was welcomed as a heavenly blessing in times of tribulation. Families and devotees gathered in prayers for the Holy Child to watch over their loved ones and give them strength to endure captivity. The devotion grew, reaching neighboring areas and becoming a pillar of hope for Christians. Those who once doubted began to believe upon hearing the testimonies of freed prisoners, who described their encounters with this celestial child. Thus, in the heart of Spain, a network of devotees began to weave around the image of the Holy Child. This pilgrim, with his humble gifts, initiated a faith that crossed time and space, carrying with it the fervor of those who trusted in his miraculous aid. A miraculous rescue in the Arab prisons. The earliest stories of the Holy Child of Atocha focus on his appearances in the Arab prisons of Spain. At that time, Christian prisoners lived in deplorable conditions, with no access to food, water, or spiritual comfort. The rules of the prisons prohibited any visitors except for children under 12 years old. This small margin of hope was seized by the Holy Child, who, in his infant appearance, began visiting the captives, bringing what was essential for life and faith. This miraculous rescue was, in many ways, an act of divine defiance. While the guards tried to tighten their control, the Holy Child appeared more and more frequently. His mysterious presence, defying human rules, became a true miracle that filled the prisoners with hope. No one could explain how this child managed to bring bread and water to so many people, and how his small basket never seemed to empty. The fame of his visit spread like wildfire in the desert. Every prisoner who received his help fervently narrated the moment when the child appeared and provided them not only with food, but also with comfort and words of encouragement. The guards, bewildered by this figure they could not control, became increasingly perplexed by the stories of the prisoners, who described the child as an angelic and unreachable figure. This child, who came to break the chains of despair, began to be seen as Jesus incarnate in the form of a little one. The prisoners' faith was revitalized, and through their prayers, they remained strong in their trials. The accounts of these miraculous experiences strengthened the devotion to the Holy Child, who became a symbol of freedom and resistance to suffering. Over the years, the story of his rescues was passed down from generation to generation, leaving an imprint on popular faith that would never fade. The Holy Child had become, from then on, a savior for those trapped in the darkness of despair, a symbol of hope and faith for the oppressed. The Holy Child of Atocha is not only a symbol of faith, he is a source of hope for all who suffer. Over time, the figure of this pilgrim child has come to represent refuge and comfort amidst life's trials. For the oppressed, his image becomes a reminder that divine help can come in the most unexpected forms, providing the strength needed to face adversity. Throughout history, devotees have turned to the Holy Child in times of great need. His image, always with a small basket and his water gourd, evokes the promise of help for those who have faith. People, especially the poor and afflicted, find in him a direct connection to the divine, a constant presence that does not leave, even in the darkest moments. The miraculous child represents God's compassion manifested in the humblest and most accessible form. He does not present himself as a powerful celestial being, but as a simple child, offering help without expecting anything in return. This gesture of purity and unconditional love has touched the hearts of thousands, becoming a devotion that has crossed borders and generations. For the oppressed, the figure of the Holy Child of Atocha is also a reminder of resistance. Through him, the faithful find the strength to persevere in their struggles. His devotion goes beyond a simple religious act. It is a way to reaffirm the faith that, despite difficulties, they are never alone. He walks by their side, guiding and protecting them every step of the way. In this world full of uncertainties, the Holy Child of Atocha remains a beacon for those seeking hope. His story, laden with miracles and symbolism, offers comfort to those whose strength falters. He is undoubtedly an eternal symbol that love and faith can overcome even the most adverse circumstances. The Holy Child as a symbol of resistance in adversity. The figure of the Holy Child of Atocha is not just a symbol of faith, but also a manifestation of resistance in the face of extreme adversities. Throughout history, he has been invoked by those who find themselves in desperate situations where hope seems lost. His image, simple and humble, conveys a clear message. Even in the darkest times, there is a divine force that helps those who resist with faith. In times of persecution, oppression, or suffering, the Holy Child becomes a beacon of light. Devotees have shared stories of how their devotion has given them the strength to overcome obstacles that seemed insurmountable. It is not just passive hope, but an active push that invites people to stand firm in their faith, reminding them that, like him, they too can traverse difficult times with God's help. One of the most striking aspects of devotion to the Holy Child is his ability to inspire those facing pain. His figure as a child, humble and simple, defies human logic. Rather than seeking strength in a powerful and majestic figure, his devotees find comfort and strength in a pilgrim child. This contrast is, in turn, a reminder that true strength is not always found in appearance or power, but in unwavering faith. Resistance in the face of adversity is not only physical, but also emotional and spiritual. People who suffer from loss, economic crises, or serious illnesses find in the Holy Child a constant source of comfort. In the midst of their pain, many claim to have felt the comforting presence of this little pilgrim, as a reminder that they are never alone in their struggle. The figure of the Holy Child also highlights the power of humility in times of adversity. While others seek answers in grand and visible forms of power, he presents himself as a simple child, walking the paths with a mission of love and service. This message of humility and dedication is an invitation to all to follow his example, finding strength not in the magnitude of challenges, but in faith and devotion to others, just as he did. The expansion of the devotion from the heart of Spain to Mexico, the devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha, which began in the heart of Spain, soon crossed the ocean to reach Latin America, where it found a particularly warm home in Mexico. Over time, his image and stories of his miracles spread among the villages and communities of the faithful, carrying with them a message of hope and spiritual renewal. In every new place, the Holy Child was welcomed as a friend and protector. In Mexico, this devotion grew with particular intensity in the town of Plateros, where a chapel was built in his honor. The stories of the Holy Child's miracles spread quickly, and people from all over began traveling to pay homage and ask for his help. Every year, thousands of devotees embarked on long pilgrimages to the chapel, bringing with them their hopes, concerns, and gratitude. The devotion to the Holy Child in Mexico was especially significant for the most vulnerable communities. He became the protector of the poor, of those far from their families, and of those facing dangers in their daily lives. As a symbol of help and compassion, his image comforted those who had no one else to turn to, providing them with a sense of companionship and support in their daily struggles. This expansion of his devotion is also a testament to the universality of his message. The Holy Child of Atocha is not exclusive to one culture or region. His figure has been adopted by communities worldwide, seeing in him a reflection of God's goodness and love. His story, marked by acts of charity and miracles, resonates in the hearts of the faithful, reminding them that faith can cross oceans and unite people from different corners of the world. Through his spiritual pilgrimage, the Holy Child has woven an invisible bond that unites Spain and Mexico, demonstrating that faith has no borders. His presence in both countries strengthens the sense of community among the faithful and proves that, no matter the distance, everyone shares the same hope, that this miraculous child never ceases to watch over his own. The Holy Child of Plateros and his miraculous chapel. In the small town of Plateros, Mexico, the devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha found a special home. There, in a humble chapel dedicated to him, countless miracles and inexplicable events have occurred. The chapel, though small, has witnessed innumerable pilgrimages from people coming from all over, seeking comfort and answers. Over time, this place has become a sanctuary of faith and hope, a sacred space where devotees find peace amidst their difficulties. The image of the Holy Child in Plateros is a unique representation. He is shown sitting on a throne, with a basket full of bread and a gourd of water, ready to share with anyone in need. His pilgrim clothes and worn shoes reflect his tireless mission to help the most needy. Every aspect of this figure represents simplicity and unconditional love, and for those who see it, it is a constant reminder of the divine presence walking with them. The fame of this chapel has transcended borders. Devotees from all parts of the world travel to Plateros, bringing with them not only their prayers but also their testimonies of faith and gratitude. Many have shared stories of healing, protection, and help received after visiting the chapel or simply praying to the Holy Child from their homes. Thus, this sanctuary has been a witness to living faith, a faith that does not stop at distances or difficulties. Each corner of the chapel is filled with offerings and testimonies of gratitude. From candles and photographs to small personal objects, every detail tells the story of a miracle received. For visitors, the atmosphere surrounding this place is overwhelming. Upon entering the chapel, they feel they are in the presence of someone who listens to and cares for them. The Holy Child of Atocha, in his chapel at Plateros, remains a constant comfort to those who come seeking miracles. The chapel and its image have become a symbol of unwavering hope for a people. In this sanctuary, devotees find a deep spiritual connection that encourages them to face the trials of life. With the Holy Child by their side, they feel that no obstacle is too great, and that there is always a light guiding them, even in the darkest nights. Miracles in the mine. The protection of trapped miners. One of the most striking miracles attributed to the Holy Child of Atocha took place in a mine in Mexico, where a group of miners became trapped underground. The situation was desperate. With the pathways blocked and the oxygen running out, the miners were on the brink of losing hope. In the midst of this chaos, they turned to their last resort. They prayed fervently to the Holy Child, asking him to help them escape with their lives from this deadly trap. The testimonies of the miners say that, in the darkness, a young man dressed as a pilgrim appeared before them. With an inexplicable calm, he offered them water and bread and gave them instructions on how to find an escape route. Following his directions, the miners managed to find a way out and saved their lives. For them, there was no doubt that the Holy Child had come to their aid, answering their prayers at the moment they needed it most. This miracle not only saved the miners, but also further strengthened the devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha. The families and friends of the survivors, as well as the mining community, began to see in the Holy Child a special protector, someone who not only provides spiritual help, but also physical protection in times of extreme danger. Since then, the Holy Child has been especially invoked by those who work in difficult and risky conditions. The story of the rescued miners spread quickly, inspiring many to trust in the power of the Holy Child. Over the years, similar cases of miraculous protection have been reported in other dangerous work settings, making the Holy Child of Atocha revered as a guardian for those facing life-and-death situations in their everyday work. His image at Plateros became a symbol of strength for those exposed to risks while seeking a livelihood. For devotees, this story represents not only a miracle, but also proof of God's constant presence in their lives. In the Holy Child of Atocha, they find a faithful friend, willing to come to their aid in their times of greatest need. This relationship of trust strengthens their faith and allows them to live with the certainty that they are never alone in their challenges. The unshakable faith of the devotees of the Holy Child. Devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha is not only a display of faith, but also an example of love and gratitude. Devotees trust in his protection and miracles, and they do not hesitate to turn to him in times of need. For many, the Holy Child is a living and constant presence in their lives, someone they can turn to with complete confidence. Their faith is not solely based on miracles, but on a spiritual relationship that brings them peace and comfort. Those who have experienced his help share their stories with emotion and reverence. Each testimony is a piece of the puzzle of miracles that builds the image of the Holy Child as protector and friend. Devotees recount experiences of protection in moments of danger, unexpected healings, and solutions to problems that seemed unsolvable. For them, the Holy Child is not just a religious figure, but a close and reliable friend. This unshakable faith has led many people to perform acts of thanksgiving that reflect their deep devotion. Some undertake long pilgrimages to his sanctuary in Plateros, while others light candles at home or carry small images of him with them every day. Every act, no matter how small, is a way of keeping the relationship with the Holy Child alive, thanking him for his constant presence and care. The community of devotees of the Holy Child is united and supportive. By sharing their stories and prayers, They support one another in faith and encourage each other to trust in the power of prayer. This network of faith extends beyond borders and cultures, creating a spiritual bond that unites people from different backgrounds under the protection of the Holy Child. His figure becomes a common link that inspires and strengthens all who believe in his power. Thus, faith in the Holy Child of Atocha is a refuge for those seeking comfort. His devotion is not only about miracles, but a spiritual relationship that provides peace and hope amidst life's trials. For his devotees, he represents the promise that they are never alone and that there is always someone willing to listen and help, an intercessor in times of crisis and adversity. In the darkest moments when life presents seemingly insurmountable challenges, the Holy Child of Atocha is seen as a divine intercessor. His role in times of crisis and adversity has been testified by thousands of people who, in moments of distress, have found in him a source of comfort and hope. This pilgrim child, with his humble image, has proven to be a force of divine intervention that never abandons his own. Devotees turn to him for protection, whether in situations of health, family problems, economic difficulties, or dangers in their work. Their prayers to the Holy Child are expressions of faith that know no boundaries or limits. Every time someone finds themselves in a desperate situation, the image of the Holy Child becomes a beacon of hope, a promise that their problems can be solved with divine help. Many testimonies reflect how, in moments of despair, the Holy Child answered their pleas. Some people claim to have felt his presence in a tangible way, as though he were beside them in times of crisis. This spiritual closeness strengthens those going through difficult times, reminding them that they are not alone and that they can always count on his intercession. Devotion to the Holy Child has also intensified during situations of collective crisis, such as natural disasters and epidemics. In these times, entire communities have united in prayer to ask for his protection and help. This bond of communal faith strengthens the belief that the Holy Child is a protector of all, a guardian who watches over each of his devotees regardless of their circumstances. Thus, the Holy Child of Atocha is much more than a figure of individual devotion. He is a symbol of unity and strength in times of adversity. For those who believe in him, his figure represents divine intervention that can transform even the darkest moments into an opportunity to renew faith and hope. Traditions and rituals in honor of the pilgrim child. Over the years, various traditions and rituals have developed in honor of the Holy Child of Atocha. These practices are an expression of faith and respect that devotees feel toward him, reflecting the impact he has had on the lives of so many people. From lit candles to offerings of small shoes, each gesture symbolizes an act of gratitude and trust in his miraculous power. One of the most cherished traditions is offering small shoes on altars dedicated to the Holy Child. This gesture holds deep symbolism, as it is believed that he walks tirelessly to help those in need, and that his shoes wear out in the process. Devotees, by offering him new shoes, show their gratitude for his constant presence and his help in times of difficulty. Pilgrimages to the Holy Child's sanctuaries are another manifestation of devotion. Every year, thousands of people walk long distances to Plateros and other places dedicated to him, bringing their petitions and thanks. These pilgrimages are not only an act of faith, but also a spiritual journey that allows devotees to reflect on their lives and strengthen their relationship with the Holy Child. Devotees also light candles in his honor, believing that the light from these represents the guidance and protection he offers his followers. This simple ritual, performed both in churches and at home, is a way to keep the flame of faith alive and ask for his help in times of darkness. For many, this light symbolizes the hope that the Holy Child will guide them through their struggles. These traditions reflect the depth of the relationship between devotees and the Holy Child of Atocha. Every gesture, every prayer, is a way to connect with him and express trust in his miraculous power. For the faithful, these rituals are not just religious customs, but a way to honor the one who walks with them every step of their lives. Modern miracles. testimonies of protection and healing. Devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha does not only live in the stories of past eras. His power continues to manifest today through miracles that defy explanation. From small daily interventions to extraordinary healings, his devotees continue to share stories of how this pilgrim child has impacted their lives in tangible ways. For many, the Holy Child represents a living hope that adapts to modern challenges, proving that his help knows no limits of time or circumstance. One of the most common testimonies is that of healing during illness. Many people have reported unexpected recoveries and unexplained improvements after praying to the Holy Child. In hospitals and homes, devotees claim to have felt his presence as a comfort accompanying them in times of pain. For them, the Holy Child is more than an image to believe in. He is a force of love and healing acting in their lives. Protection is another fundamental aspect of his devotion. Police officers, firefighters, and people in dangerous professions carry images of the Holy Child with them, trusting in his intervention in times of risk. Stories of unexpected rescues and protection in critical situations are frequent, and devotees firmly believe that he is a guardian in their daily journeys. For those who face constant danger, his figure is a source of calm and security. Beyond physical miracles, many find in him spiritual healing. People going through personal crises, loss, or anxiety have found in the Holy Child an emotional refuge. Praying to him brings them a sense of peace and balance, helping them face their internal struggles. Through their devotion, these individuals strengthen their faith and find the strength to overcome their emotional difficulties. Thus, the Holy Child of Atocha continues to be a figure of modern miracles, showing that his power and love are not limited to ancient tales. His devotion, renewed with every testimony, is proof that divine love remains present and active in the world, and that those who seek his help can still find in him a friend, a protector, and a healer. Miracles of protection and hope. The Holy Child in everyday life. In everyday life, the Holy Child of Atocha continues to show his power and mercy, not only through grand miracles but also in small daily interventions that make a difference. From situations of imminent danger to moments of emotional despair, his presence seems always available to those who invoke him with faith. In the daily lives of his devotees, he presents himself as a constant protector, ready to offer comfort and help in any circumstance. One of the most common miracles is protection in risky situations. People who work in dangerous environments, such as firefighters, police officers, or construction workers, have shared testimonies of how the Holy Child has protected them in moments of great danger. Whether it is avoiding severe accidents or providing an opportunity to escape in extreme situations, his figure becomes a talisman of protection that gives them the security that they are not alone on their journey. In addition to physical protection, the Holy Child is also recognized for providing inner peace during times of emotional distress. Many people, especially those going through personal or family crises, turn to him seeking comfort. In the midst of anxiety, fear, or grief, the image of the Holy Child becomes a refuge of hope. Many devotees claim that by praying to him, they find a deep emotional and spiritual relief that allows them to continue with renewed energy and faith. The daily miracles attributed to the Holy Child go beyond physical healing or material protection. They manifest in small moments of grace where devotees feel that their prayers are being heard. Some people recount how, when faced with difficult decisions, a sense of clarity and serenity came to them as a divine response. This type of intervention is not only a miraculous act, but a manifestation of God's closeness expressed through this pilgrim child. The Holy Child of Atocha, in his humility and simplicity, remains a powerful symbol of hope in the modern world. Although his figure may seem like an image from the past, his presence remains alive and active in the lives of those who invoke him. The daily miracles that occur in the lives of his devotees are a testimony that, at any moment, he can intervene to bring comfort, protection, and hope, keeping faith alive and reminding everyone that divine goodness is still present in the world, no matter the circumstances. A symbol of hope in an uncertain world. In a world full of uncertainties and challenges, The figure of the Holy Child of Atocha stands as a symbol of hope that transcends generations and borders. His image, evoking both tenderness and power, is a reminder that, no matter how dark the path, there is always a divine light ready to guide. For the devotees, this little pilgrim is a living promise that God does not abandon his children, and that his love can manifest in the most humble and surprising forms. The central message of his devotion is clear. Faith in God, expressed through the Holy Child, can offer comfort and guidance even in moments of the greatest confusion. In times of global crises, such as natural disasters or pandemics, entire communities have found in the Holy Child a source of unity and collective hope. He becomes a meeting point for the prayers of all those seeking strength to face the challenges of modern life. His image, representing innocence and goodness, inspires his followers to approach life with humility and compassion. The Holy Child reminds them that spiritual greatness is not found in power or wealth, but in the ability to help others, just as he does in his role as a pilgrim. For the faithful, his devotion is a lesson that everyone, even the smallest, can be a positive force in the world. The presence of the Holy Child in the lives of his devotees is a source of peace in a world that often seems turbulent and uncertain. His image, whether in a great cathedral or on a humble home altar, is an invitation to trust in divine providence and to remember that true strength comes from faith. Every time someone prays, it is as though a spiritual bridge forms, bringing them closer to understanding that they are never alone in their battles. Ultimately, the Holy Child of Atocha is a reminder of God's unconditional love. His devotion teaches that no matter how difficult the road, there is always a hand ready to help. For those who follow him, he is more than a symbol. He is a guide, a protector, and a constant source of hope. In a changing and challenging world, the Holy Child of Atocha continues his mission of bringing comfort, strengthening the faith of those who find in him a safe refuge for their souls.